Okay, so here is a watch that probably not too many people have heard of. The most popular smartwatches are the Apple and the Samsung, but this is the TicWatch Pro 3 GPS. This is made by Mobvoi, and it's actually a really nice watch, and I'll go into some details on it because, like I said, it is a real nice watch, and it's not a watch that too many people know about. So it does have a 1.4-inch screen here. It's an AMOLED screen, really sharp and crisp. You can see on the screen there. It does have, over here, you got the speakers. Over here, you got the two buttons, and you got the mic. There is no rotating bezel on here, which would have been nice, like the Samsung watches. And then if you turn around here, this is the sensors, and this is the charging port. Unfortunately, this is a proprietary charging port. I don't like that they did that. It would have been nice if they were able to just have a wireless charger so you could charge it on the back of your phone or just put it on any wireless pad to get it to charge. And this is fairly good, but the magnet's not super strong, so sometimes you put it on there and it can come off, especially if you say it like that, or if you just put it down like this and rest it on the counter, or if you put it in a drawer or something, or you bump into it and it gets knocked off, then you think it's charging and then you go to check on it and it's dead. So that's not great. There is a third-party charger that I got here that just stands on the counter here, and then you could just put it on there, and the magnets are strong, and there it is there. So it just to kind of know that it's definitely on or not. But that charger, it does take almost 3 hours to charge it on that one, and the other charger, it's almost 2 hours going from 0 to 100%. So it's a long charging time on it. So it's especially bad when you have it charging and you think it's charging and then it's not. Now on the back here, you see this is not the original band that came with it. You got the little pins here that you could just squeeze out, and any 22 millimeter band will fit on this. These are the bands that came with it, and these are actually really nice. They look pretty sharp, and they're waterproof, comfortable, no problems there, and they got the pins included in there, so you can't really lose them, so that's nice. This is just the band that I put on there. It's just more comfortable for me, but again, those could be changed very easily. So let's get into the specs. I'll put all the detailed specs below so you could just see them at your own leisure and see which ones you're interested in, but I'll cover some of the main ones. So this is a Qualcomm 4100 Snapdragon processor, and that's important because it does make the watch very fast and smooth. The apps work very snappy on here, but it also does make it so that, or allow it, that it's going to be upgraded to Android Wear 3.0. Right now this has Android 2.0, and hopefully in mid-2022 or later it will have the 3.0, which is not supposed to be any major changes, but it is supposed to be probably make it work a little smoother and maybe support some more apps. I'm not sure. But then there's IP68 rating on here, and it does have say it's okay for swimming. And it does have an exercise app on that, or exercise feature on for swimming that will measure your strokes. But I would not recommend showering with it, or even if you're washing it, you don't want any high-pressured water coming on here because it could exceed the tolerances of the seals, and then you could have a wet watch and probably ruin it. So just be a little cautious with that. So the battery is 577 milliamps, and that is what makes this watch stand out, because normal use you can get 3 to 4 days on this without charging, and if you use it heavy use, meaning turn notifications on, all the sensors on, and the always on display, things like that, you probably still would get 2 days out of it. Just for reference, the Samsung Watch 4 only has a 361 milliamp battery, and that gets about a day or two. So definitely a bigger battery, which makes it last longer, which is nice that you don't have to charge it every night. It also does have an essential mode, which is what this screen is right here. And if you have it just in that mode, it will last up to 45 days, which is nice. And they did do a software update on here so that you could actually schedule the essential mode. So maybe when you don't need the notifications as much, you could have it set to that, and then you could get, again, several days of use on the battery. It does have NFC for Google Pay, not Samsung or Apple Pay. It does have a heart rate sensor, an SpO2 sensor, and a stress monitor. It has 1 gigs of RAM, and it has 8 gigs of ROM, so you could download music on here, and then you don't need your phone with you. You could just have your watch to play music, and again, 8 gigs is quite a bit. It does work with Apple and Android phones, but again, this is a Google software, so it works much better with Android phones. The battery life, like I said, is 3 to 4 days. That's what really makes this stand out, because a lot of times, most other watches, you have to charge every other day or maybe even every night. And it also does have 2 screens here. It got the this screen here, which is, again, the 1.4-inch AMOLED display, and it is very sharp and bright. The pixels are comparable to the Samsung Watch 4, so no complaints about the sharpness and crispness of it. And then you also have the LCD screen that is actually on top of this, and when this times out, it goes into the LCD screen, which also gives you quite a bit of information and, again, extends your battery life quite a bit. Let's go over some features first, and then we'll go a little more into that essential mode. So if you have the watch here, and then of course you swipe down, you'll see you have airplane mode, you have the sound on and off, you have the Find My Phone, which is a nice feature. This is the Google Pay, this is theater mode, and then this is Do Not Disturb. Theater mode shuts off the screen and all notifications and alarms. Do Not Disturb just shuts off all the notifications and alarms, but the screen will still go on when you want it to. So depending on what you need, that would be the difference between them. If you scroll over this way, you get the Google Assistant. You could also set this up that it will listen for your voice, and when you do say the hot word, it will flip to the screen, but again, that does drain your battery a little bit more. And on this, the voice recognition is actually very good if you need to say, if you want to text somebody, or if you wanted to call somebody, if you want to set an alarm, or any of that stuff works very good on this. And if you do want to reply to a text, you could do it with the voice system here, and it, like I said, works very well. So that does work very good. It makes the smartwatch much more usable, so you don't really have to go grab your watch or your phone all the time. Then if you swipe to the right, this is the tiles. This is like the widgets on the phone, and you could set these and move these up or down. You could add or subtract these if you want to. And let's go back to here. And then if you have any notifications, you would just swipe up, and then they would populate on the bottom there. And let's go over the buttons and the features on here. So if the watch is off, and then you hit the top button, that just turns it on. If it's on and then you hit it, that opens up the apps. And this is the apps here. This is actually the Mobvoi launcher, which has them, which is very similar to the Samsung. The Samsung has 3 rows of apps, but not much of a difference there. And then if you hit the button again, you go back to the home screen. If you hit it twice, it actually gets, if I could hit it twice quickly, it actually gets super bright. And that's really great if you're outside and it usually is very readable, but if you did have it on a dim setting to save battery, you could hit this and then it gets super bright and you're able to see it. And then if you do hold it, if you push it and hold it, then you'll get the power off feature and a restart. Okay, so that takes you back to that. The bottom button, if it's off, you just hit it and it will turn it back, it will turn it on. Then if you hit the bottom, it will customize to whatever you want. Right now it's set to agenda, but you can change that very easily to any of the apps that you want. And if you hit it, and from the home screen here, if you hold it, you'll get this, which is speaker draining. So that means if the watch got wet and you want to clean out the speaker, it just makes a tone to hopefully clean it out. You got essential mode, restart, power off, and then you can customize the function button, which is this one here. So if you hit that, right now it's again set to agenda. If you hit it like this, now you can put it to any app that you want, and which is real nice. So you just hit this, and then whatever quick toggle you need, you could set it up for that, which is a nice feature. Some watches don't allow you to do that. Then if you want to use any of the Mobvoi apps, which is a lot of them, and which is the pulse, the sleep tracking, the exercise mode, the SpO2, the stress measurement, any of those apps that you want to use, you have to sign into the Mobvoi and register there. Otherwise, they every time you click on it, it just tells you that you need to register for it, which again, people don't like to register for all these different things, but you need to do it to get this watch fully functional. You also do have Google Fit on here, which has a lot of the same features, but not all of them. So again, you still would probably sign into Mobvoi and get all the features that you need here. So if we go through the apps here, you can see, you can just scroll through them, and there's a whole bunch on there. And then you do have the Play Store. So if you hit that, let me just show you here. You'll be able to add it. You'll be able to see what's on your phone. Then it gives you some shortcuts here, whatever you want. If you want to go through them, again, you want to add some watch faces or what's recommended for you, or then you could just search and find whatever app you want, and it will download right to your watch. You could also download it from your phone as well. And I'll just show you, this is again the Mobvoi launcher. And actually, let me show you this before I toggle out of here. If you just hold this, you could move these up or down and rearrange them. And then if you are done, you just double click, and then that will move them wherever you want. Obviously, it's tough to move them from top to bottom, but it is possible. And let me show you, if you go here and we just go into, to get out of the Mobvoi launcher, you got to go into personalization. And then it's going to be right here in Mobvoi launcher. It's a quick toggle. Now, it depends on which one you like, but now you have the regular launcher, which is this, which just has all the apps listed there, but instead of the icons, you have the words telling you what it is. Then you do have here the recents go on the top, and then you have your favorites. Those are the ones with the stars. You cannot move these up and down, but what you could do is if you just hold one, there you go, and then it turns into your favorite. Then again, it will be up here, so it will be on the first couple, and you can make as many favorites as you want. Then the rest of the apps are just put in by alphabetical order. And let me just show you some of the Mavoy apps here. So yeah, Tick Breathe, which is just a breathing exercise. It walks you through. Tick Care. This is just if you had other people that you're competing with or doing challenges with. Tick Exercise. This gives you all your modes that you might want to choose from. It does have an auto enable on here, but I found that the auto detect doesn't work that good. So sometimes you go for a walk and it may not register it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something, or may not register it at all. So if you do put that on, it's great to have the feature, but again, just realize it doesn't always work as smoothly as you want it to, and it won't always record your entire exercise. Then we go down here, and this is a Tick Health. That gives you this thing here, and then if you click on it, it will give you some data of what you did and your active hours and heart rate and stuff like that. If you go to Tick Hearing, this is a feature that maybe some people like, but basically it measures the noise in the environment, and it's 94 decibels. I think it's kind of quiet right here, so I don't know why it's so sensitive, but this is not something that you could have continuously on, but you can set it manually, and you just go ahead and do it, and you could, if you want to check the environment that you're on day to day. Tick Oxygen, this is your SpO2 reading, and it will do a reading now if I had it on, and then if you want to change it for 24 hours, you just do that. And then we got Tick Pulse. This is your heart rate, and again, you could just do a manual measurement on it, or you could turn on the 24 hours, and then it will give you a reading here, and it will also record some abnormal highs or lows, but it doesn't do any EKG readings like some of the other ones. And Tick Sleep, that just gives you sleep features. Tick Zen, this is the app that measures your stress. You do need to have the heart rate and the SpO2 sensors on, and then it will measure it. And you can have this measure continuously if you'd like, and then at the end of the day, you could see, what happened or when you were stressed or what was going on. And then all the apps there. Let's go to the LCD screen. I'll just have this go off. And now this is the LCD screen. Then I'll see if you catch it in the light just right, you can see it fairly clearly. So it doesn't have to be super bright, it just has to catch the angle just right. And you got the date on there, you got the time, you got the steps, you got your seconds, and then you have a little battery indicator on the bottom. This is not customizable at all. This is the only watch face that you have, but I'll show you how to set this, and then you also have a backlight that you could use on this. So if you wanted to go to essential mode, that you could do it in the settings, but to actually do it so that you can schedule it, you actually have to find essential mode on here, which I think I actually have on the top. So you click on essential mode, and then for this you could just switch to essential mode right here. You could auto switch by battery, so when you start to die, you can have it off, or you could set it even high here. So even if you're away from a charger for a little while and your battery gets down to 20%, you probably still have another 15 days of battery if you do the essential mode. And then you could have it where you could turn it on and off. So if there is a time of the day that you don't really need all your notifications coming through, then you could set this maybe when you get home from work, and if you have it set for 10 hours a day or so, you'd be saving a lot of battery. This does also keep your step counter, and you could also does the sleep tracking. So you could do essential mode again for maybe when you get home all the way through the night to the next morning, and again, there'll be a lot of hours of having the essential mode, and that will save you some battery on there. Let's get back to that. And then this is the tilt to light if you want to do that, which is just makes it so you could read it in any light, basically. Even if it's very dark, you'll still be able to see it. It's just not super bright, not super legible, but it's enough that you could read it. And again, if you did have the essential mode on, it does keep your sleep tracking and your steps, but it doesn't get you any notifications. So that's something to keep in mind, and you see how much you want to do it. So if we just switch to essential mode now, it says it greatly extends your battery life, and then it does have to reboot when you want to get back to regular mode. So again, this is this, and if you do that's the light. And you could do it where it flips like this, and if you flip it, the light will go on. And then again, very legible, no problem with that. And then if you want to get back out of essential mode, you actually have to restart the battery here. And you got to restart the whole thing, which only takes a moment. So this watch is really great if it does, again, it's not the LTE version, but it's great if your hands are full, your phone is in a pocket or a jacket or something like that, or it's raining, you don't want to reach and go find your your phone. Basically, you could have this, people will call you, just answer right on the watch, and the speaker is actually very clear, and the people said that my voice sounded very clear on the other end. So you wouldn't have a whole conversation with this, but if you were just needed to talk to someone for a minute or two, just to clear up data, directions, or what you're doing, or when you're meeting them, or anything like that, the watch is great for that. And let me just show you some apps. That's about all for the phone. I'll go into some more of the settings on another video, where some of the tips and tricks. There's a couple of secret little things on there that might make the life a little easier, depending. So this is the Mobvoi app. If you go on to here, this has your activity, your exercise, your sleep time, and this is where the tiles here for the heart rate, the SpO2, the stress, and the noise. And then you could add things if you want, or take them away. And some of these are only available on the Ultra watch, which is a newer version of this one. That would be that. Then we have the device, audio recordings. If you do any recording on the phone, on the watch, it will come on your phone right here. If you do any screenshots, that's here. Settings doesn't do anything. I don't know why it's there. Then Take Care is only if you you're doing some challenges and stuff like that. But you do have also a watch face area here where you can get the Mobvoi apps, or the different watches. And there's a fairly good amount here. And then if you just here, let me click here. And then a couple more open up, and some of these are duplicate on different categories, but there's a fair amount of watch faces there to keep people happy. And then your account is just all the stuff that you could do here. You could do third-party apps where all your training and exercise and stuff data will go into different apps if you want to set it that way. Then we also have on this watch, this is great because it also is compatible with the Wear OS, so you got this app that you can use. Again, you got your watch faces here. This is where the tiles, you could add or subtract some different ones there. And again, these are the tiles. You could move these up or down, so when you swipe over, they would be coming up first, or you could have maybe the calculator you don't use as much. You could have that one at the end. And then you could also do a shortcut button, so you could hit the button and you get to any of these if you wanted to. Then you got the notifications. This is where you could turn on and off all the notifications. If you do have a lot of notifications on, you could kind of kill the battery a lot if you have a lot of social media and stuff like that going through. So just keep that in mind. Google Assistant. This is just some things here. And what can you do? These are all the things that you can do from the Google Assistant, just give you some ideas of what's available. And again, it does these actually very good, and the software is very quick. So in the past, I know the software wasn't very good, and you would do your voice instruction and it would never hear what you were saying or didn't understand it. But now it seems to be pretty refined. And then this is the advanced settings, a couple of things you could do here. Then the only other thing I just wanted to show you is the watch battery. You could see how much time is left, and then you could also see which app is kind of killing your battery the most, and then you could decide if you need to take that app off or uninstall it, or change your settings to make your battery last a little longer. Then you also have Google Fit on here. This will give you all the exercise data that you would need. This has your journal, all your different exercises that you did for the day, and then this is all the stuff you can go into some detail on. And then the profile is just your data that you've put into there. Now, again, there is a newer version of this watch, which is the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra, and there's a couple of differences on that one. The style is kind of similar. There's a slight change on there, so it's personal preference if that's something that you like or not. It's military grade durability, and it does have Gorilla Glass, so it's a little more durable. I have a little, I don't know if you could see it, but I have a little screen protector I put on there. I usually don't do it on the watches, but for some reason I just decided to do it this time just to give it a little extra protection. There's a few more sport modes on the newer version of the watch. They also have a measurement for mental fatigue. Instead of the plastic, it's a high-strength nylon. It does have a barometer reading on it. and it does have irregular heartbeat detection, and it does have 18 different colored backlights for the essential mode. So when you're in essential mode like this, and then you want the light to come on, you can change it instead of like the light blue that it's on now by default. There's 18 different colors that you can pick from on the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra. But otherwise, a lot of the features are the same. It's the same exact size. The screen size is the same chipset. Same Android Wear 2 that's going to be upgraded to 3. It has the 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigabytes of ROM. They both have the heart rate, the SpO2 sensors, the stress monitors, the same battery size, and they both have the dual screens like this. And so between them, there's not that much difference. It's up to you what you'd want to get. They both actually retail for $299, even though the Ultra is a newer watch, but they both retail for $299. This is the older version of it, and it does go on sale quite a bit for like $225 or so. So keep your eye out for that. I would probably wait for a sale if you were thinking about getting it, because it does go on sale pretty frequently. The TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra does go on sale also quite a bit, but maybe in the $250 to $270 range for now. So that's just to give you an idea of if you're getting a good price on it as of now. That might get even better as time goes on, but during the holidays, look at the watch, and again, you get some good deals on it. I'm going to go over another video where I'll just go over some of the extra features on this and functions of the watch, and so you can see that, and I'll go into some more details and make it a little more information to decide if you want this watch or not. Then I'll also go into some favorite watch faces that I found over the last couple of months that I really like, and you could see if any of them are interesting for you. Thank you for watching, and if you stayed around this long and you liked it, go ahead and hit subscribe and comment. If you have any features that I missed, that would be great. Thank you.